I realized that I haven't really done a recap on the car. I've made quite a few videos along the way since I started building this thing a few years ago, but I figured I'd go through some of the stuff now. There's not a whole lot. The car's got 163,000 miles on it. It was my daily driver for a very long time down in Florida, so luckily no rust in the frame or anything like that, just your regular kind of paint issues with the sun and all that, so that'll hopefully be taken care of this year. But as far as the motor goes, I got the 8-rib pulley conversion that I put together myself. There's a video on that, but it's worked out quite well so far. The alignment and everything looks pretty good. There might be maybe 1 or 2 pulleys that I might space out just a tiny bit, only because the belt is kind of like on the edge right here, but nothing a washer won't fix or anything like that. But typically here there's a 90 millimeter belt or pulley, I'm sorry, that sits right here, and then I swapped that out for a 76 millimeter, which is the same as size as this, as well as the Mussolini pulley. And the reason for that is because the belt, 8-rib belt that I have running here, it's a little smaller, and it was kind of weird to find a size that would fit with the 90 millimeter idle pulley here. And the reason for that is because I ordered, like, I don't know if you can really tell down here, but the AC pulley is from an F250, and it's slightly larger, I believe, but than the stock 6-rib pulley. Fits fine on there. It just kind of throws off the entire dynamics of the setup. So I just figured I'd downsize here, and everything's worked out really nicely. No issues at all. I do have forged pistons and rods running inside this motor. So something I've never experienced before is piston slap. So when it's really cold out, you start the car, kind of sounds like knocking, but it's actually piston slap, and once the car warms up, gets up to temperature, then it goes away. So everything is running as it should. I do have a Steeda Catcan right here, which I've been running now for a long time, and I am finding a bit of an issue with it. And I do have a video on that. I'll try and post a link for it if I can remember to here. But it tucks in really nice. I do like the setup and everything, but the only issue that I'm finding with it, it's kind of dark, but the way that this drains in here, it's got a spring-loaded kind of nipple down there that you're supposed to kind of press up on, and then it drains. Well, there's oil in there, and unfortunately it has been kind of slowly draining down, and I've been keeping it clean. But my concern with this is, of course, anytime you have anything that's combustible leaking, especially with the recent fire that I just had due to the BBKs, which is another mod that I have on here that I'm pretty happy with, but it was some things to consider too with it. But yeah, the BBKs, they run really hot. They're obviously a lot more piping. Let's see if we can get a better angle on them, but may not be a really good angle on the BBKs. But anyways, yeah, the BBKs in comparison to the stock exhaust manifold, this is just a lot more tubing, and which is great. Allows for all the benefits that you get from a BBK shorty header, better flow and everything like that, but it runs a lot hotter for that reason. It also occupies more space in the compartment, which is the reason why I had that fire. Essentially, if you notice here, I have my where is it? Of course, now that I'm looking for it, I can't find it. But essentially, I have my high pressure AC line that I have that disconnected because that was the thing that caught fire. It runs kind of tightly right here on top of the frame, and then right around here, the strut tower, and it kind of sits right on top of one of the manifolds. And I didn't notice that when I installed it. And of course, like once it got hot enough and it burnt right through the protective layer, it just it just caught fire. So yeah, that's one of the issues I've had with all of this. The BBK, no, sorry, I got maximum, not maximum. Step back a little bit here. As far as the suspension for the front end, I am running a BMR K member, which so far I haven't had any issues with at all, other than maybe the BBK, which I don't know if this is a BMR issue or just a BBK issue, but when I dropped the engine in and I was trying to line it up with the K member, the BBK header was sitting right on top of the engine mount, and it wouldn't allow the engine to sit flush on the K member. So I just put a spacer. I lifted the engine up a little bit. I put a spacer there, and then it worked out all right. But you know, this is one of the things that you run into when you're putting aftermarket stuff in your car. But I do have a big air on there, and the reason for that is because I completely maxed out the stock one, and I upgraded the fuel injectors to, as Saleen originally comes with 32-pound injectors for this particular car and this particular blower, and I upgraded to, I think, like 44-pound injectors. In either case, I got an aftermarket fuel pump and everything like that, and I just want to go ahead and upgrade that so that my tuner had more wiggle room to play with when tuning this thing. But I did buy new coils, and I swear by MSD and ignition. I had the original coils still, all of them working fine, and I have them as a spare. I've never had anything wrong with this. Like, I've had different brands of coils before, and I've burned them out. Like, anytime I would hit the limiter or anything like that, like, one of them will fail. So MSD for me has been phenomenal, so I will always keep running those. I think that's essentially all the big things that I've done to the car so far. So, and everything's working properly. When I installed the supercharger, I didn't spend all that money on the gasket from Saleen, and the reason for that is because I felt like it was just a bit much. And quite honestly, if you use gasket maker for high temp applications, it works out just fine. I got a really nice seal on it. It's actually making 1 pound more boost than it was before. So I don't think it has to do with the supercharger or the pulley. I think it's just more to do with having a better seal around the supercharger. Oh yeah, this thump, I think is it American Racing, I think it's called thump tensioner, but either way, this beefier tensioner here has been great so far. I think it's reduced a lot of the belt slip. Before, I would notice belt slip by some of the residue from the belt accumulating like around the alternator, so like underneath and around and stuff like that. And so far I'm not really seeing any of that, which is great. So I'm super happy with that. Yep, so I think that's all I can think of to recap on. But yeah, just gonna go ahead and take care of the rear end suspension and take it to drift school.